This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and the latest news from Alpena Community College with Dr. Olin Joynton. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first guest today is Doug Pratt from Prattscape. Hi, Doug.
Hi, Nancy. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, and I thank you in this busy time of year for taking time out to come and talk to me today. And the thing that I wanted to talk to you about, Doug, was about your Shopping for a Cause events that you do in our community. So tell me how you got started with Shopping for a Cause.
Shopping for a Cause started with, I did a lot of different type of charitable things like Relay for Life or Friends Together, different type of MDA, all those type of things. And I just thought as a company, I should have some kind of a policy that I could kind of talk to everybody about and how everybody had equal opportunity, kind of for my donation dollars. And so we decided to create what was called Shopping for a Cause. And a nonprofit organization comes in and they will promote our shopping day for one day, whatever day they choose to do it. Usually it's a Saturday because it's one of the busier days. And we give a percentage of the proceeds from that day to their gardening project. So that if they have kind of something they want to have done, nonprofits never have any money.
Yeah.
The city, the county, the state, everybody cuts fundings, you know, so that they don't have any money. So this is a way for me to help them beautify the city, beautify their building, and it isn't any out-of-pocket money for them. It's just they have to promote it.
Okay. And as anything, the harder they work on it, the more they promote it, the better their event's going to be. And it's unlimited how much money they can make.
Absolutely. Last year we had a youth group from Harrisville that come up, and so it was from the church, and so what they did was they put it in their newsletter from church, and they went out and made little flyers and put it on people's parking lot doors. They went door to door and promoted people, say come shopping and stuff, and they earned $1,000. And what they used their money for was they were going on a mission trip, and they had to pay for transportation and stuff. So they helped me by getting people into my store that might not have come otherwise. I gave them the money. They went on a mission, got to do mission work for elderly people in a town, fix up some projects and stuff. So it worked really well.
Yay. And we want to say your store is the Old Flour Mill in Alpena. It is on Campbell Street. And it's a gardening shop, and it's unique items and things you won't see anywhere else around.
Absolutely. That's what we hear probably more than anything else is this is such a gem, and oh my God, this is like Harbor Springs or Petoskey or that kind of stuff. And we are endlessly out buying from estate sales and auctions, and then of course there's wholesalers for all kinds of new product that we get. But the stranger it is, the more likely I'm going to put it in the store. I have to compete with local businesses like Home Depot and Walmart and Kmart. So my solution to that is to have what they don't have.
And I have the most beautiful pink flamingo from your store. Every time I go by, I say good morning to them or good night to them, and it came from your store, and it's a very unique item, and I absolutely adore it.
It's fun to kind of drive around town and see stuff in people's yard and realize it came from the store and how well people are supporting us. That's really another reason why we do the Shopping for a Cause. If the community is going to support us, we need to get back. And if we all do that, then we have a good community that has all kinds of needs and stuff being fulfilled.
True. Now you have some groups already scheduled, so tell us what groups are scheduled.
We just did ARMC, and they earned $500 towards their project.
Okay.
The next one is going to be the Marine Sanctuary, and theirs is on July 13th.
Okay.
And then after that, we are going to have the Boys and Girls Club in August. And then in September, we're going to have the Humane Society. October is Friends Together. So some of them, like say for example, Humane Society or the Boys and Girls Club, we're going to have a box in the shop that anytime during that month it's being promoted, that they could come in and drop off kitty litter or something like that for the Humane Society, or maybe notebooks, pencils, crayons, whatever. And so when they come actually do the Shopping for a Cause, they can then pick up all those items and take them back. So not only will they earn some money, but it might be a convenient location, easy for somebody to drop something off as well.
Okay, so all they have to do is come in, fill out an application. You and a couple of people will take a look at it and decide if it's, a project that fits your parameters, and then they can do a day for Shopping for a Cause.
Absolutely.
And you like to have volunteers there that day to help out and wearing the T-shirts showing their support of their organization and giving an extra hand carrying things out to cars and all those good things.
Absolutely. And one of the things too we find that part of this whole process is because they're a non-profit organization, they can do stuff like through the TV station with Community Calendar,
Yes.
which I can as a business.
Yes.
A lot of times TVs and radios and newspapers will do little free ads for them sometimes as well. A lot of the stores like Neiman's and stuff would be great to put up a poster in to advertise and stuff, and they do really well with that too.
Okay, so just important that you get in there and support the event. Don't, if you're just planning just to not put posters out, not do anything, it doesn't work that way.
No. And if you're going to buy your mother a Mother's Day present and you come in and buy it on that day, so you've bought the present you would have bought anyway, but now a percentage of that also goes to a cause that you're very near and dear to.
Yeah, very near. And you're also helping out at Relay for Life this year.
Absolutely. Pratscape has decided that this year we will sponsor their Survivor Dinner. So we're going to hire a local caterer. So again, we can give back to the community, and we're going to have a catered dinner. Judy Burns from Friends Together, myself, and the American Cancer Society will decide what we're going to have for dinner. We're kind of thinking of maybe comfort food this year.
Mashed potatoes.
Those people, when they come, they don't feel good. They might be having treatment. And so we're thinking maybe some comfort food would help. We try to do it different every year, but we're going to sponsor that. Of course, we'll have a team and do what we can do to raise money for that as well. So.
Okay, so once again, your address is?
633 West Campbell Street.
Okay, and phone number?
Is 354-3200.
Okay, and we still have a little bit of time, so I'm going to get some garden tips from you.
Okay.
What about grubs? What in the heck can you do for grubs?
I just did a segment this morning on ABC News about grubs.
Okay.
Grubs, basically, if you think of the life cycle of a grub, kind of like you do a bulb, you put it in the ground. April and May, they're coming out of the ground from a hibernation type of state. June and July, they're adults or above ground, eating all the things that has been growing, your lettuce and tomatoes and your plants and flowers. And then they start laying eggs at the end of July. So August and September is eggs hatching, babies come up and start eating all the roots to your grasses and all those type of things. A great product in the spring to put on is Sevin, S-E-V-I-N.
Okay.
You can buy it at Home Depot, and it's something that will kill the larva that is eating all that grass type of stuff.
Okay.
And then it also is non-toxic to humans, so you can put it on your vegetable plants and stuff like that. Of course, it's a good idea to rinse before you eat as well, but it's non-toxic. And then in the fall, you can put on some preventative stuff like GrubX, or a bear's got one that will kill those eggs and kill the baby grubs before they get going for winter again.
And Sevin won't hurt the existing bulbs, and it won't hurt the existing lawn and all those
none of the
things.
plants or anything. Either will GrubX, either one of them. But Sevin will kill what existingly you're planting to, and GrubX is more of a 5-month program that gives you some protection.
Okay, because then the skunks come after the grubs, and then the moles come after them, and it just makes a mess of your yard. Thank you for the tip, and thank you for all you do in our community, Doug. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I'll be right back with Heather Nordenbrock, and we're going to talk about Alpena High School Massacres Club following these messages. Hi, welcome back. My last guest today is Heather Nordenbrock, and we're here to talk about the Alpena High School Massacres Club. Hi, Heather.
Hi.
I know that you have an outstanding group of young people at Alpena High School.
Yes, we do.
And you know, when you hear about Massacres Club, these kids do everything from direct the plays and figure out what plays they're going to show. They do the scenery, they do the set, they do the blocks of time. They do everything that would happen at a local theater or a professional theater.
Absolutely. We like them to take ownership so they can really be proud of what they've done, and they can really say, I did that.
Now, is Massacres Club actually a class at the high school? Tell me about it.
It is not. Once upon a time, theater arts were within the curriculum, but it is now only an after-school club.
Okay.
In fact, a few years back, they cut all the funding to our club, so we are now completely self-supported.
Okay.
And more recently, they've started charging us to use the auditorium, but we keep going.
Oh, I know. I hate when all these cuts happen, and you know, the arts seem to always take the hit.
Yeah.
Seems to be a spot where anybody thinks, oh, well, we can cut here. And that's sad, because you have some really good kids, and this can mean in their future and for college and everything. And I know that you went to a competition in December.
We did. We went to a festival called the International Thespian Society Festival. We're actually, we have a charter troupe, and we've gone almost every year since we chartered our troupe in 2006.
Wow.
And more recently, we've had students starting to participate in these events. And in December, we had 3 kids participate. Colin Marshall did a film, which he received an excellent rating for. Dana Glomsky did solo musical theater, which she received an excellent rating for, and she also submitted a play, which was the dinner theater that we actually produced in the fall, and she received a superior rating for that, which is the highest rating you can get. And then Monica Smith also did a solo musical theater, which she received a superior rating for.
Wow.
So they did very well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're self-supporting, so how do you make money for your group?
Pretty much by people coming and seeing our shows. Our ticket sales are our primary source of income.
And now you're trying to do something fun and exciting this summer.
Yes, we're trying to get a theater camp going. During the school year, we like to try to include as many students as possible because it is such a rewarding experience for them. Gives them so many life skills, builds their self-esteem.
Yes.
But there are some kids who sort of need the next level. And so this summer, we'd like to take those kids to that next level with a little more comprehensive, intensive program. And then actually, after the first program, we'd actually like to do a second program, which is really the top tier of our students. So we're looking at producing 2 shows this summer for those kids that need that little extra
So this will be something
challenge.
that kids are going to be registered and pay to attend.
Right. It's a very minimal cost because we really want those students to participate that want to, and there will be scholarships available for students who can't afford it but are still deserving and ready for that next level.
And so we're only seeking the older people, or tell me the age group, or what kind of...
It's for high school students.
Okay.
But they will have to apply.
Okay.
So there will be an application that they'll have to state their experience. They'll have to submit a resume, which also gives them great life skills again, having to put that resume together.
And what area are you hoping to draw from?
Primarily Alpena.
Okay.
But if there are people from other areas that want to come in and do it, we certainly will take their applications too.
It'll be a day camp?
It will probably actually rehearse at night. That seems to be when most of the kids will be more available. A lot of kids get babysitting jobs in the summer and such, so we didn't want to preclude those kids just because they need to have a job.
So then they'll come and you'll actually produce a play that you're going to be seen by the public.
Right. The first show we're looking at producing is called Lucky Stiff.
Okay.
It's actually been done in the area twice, but it's been quite a while. Rogers City High School did it 10 years ago, and Thunder Bay Theater did it about 5 years before that or so about 15 years ago. It was the first show produced by Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty, who went on to write such shows as Seussical, Once on This Island, Ragtime. They're Tony Award-winning. They're a Tony Award-winning team, and this was their very first show that they did.
So when would you be looking at presenting this show to the public?
The show dates, let me look at my cheat sheet. We're looking at actually 2 weekends because at the high school we only get 1 weekend.
Okay.
So the kids have not had that opportunity to see what a 2-week run is like. So it would be the last weekend in June 28th through 30th.
Okay.
And then the first weekend in July, July 5th through 7th.
Well, this is May, so that sounds like an ambitious project.
Yes, like I said, intensive and comprehensive.
Okay, and then, so then how will they go on to the next level?
Part of their initial application will tell us, their level of experience, and then our experience with them in that first camp will decide who gets to go to that next level, and there's no additional charge for the advanced camp.
Now, where will the production be held?
We are still looking for a place. It is possible the first production may be at the high school, but the minimum they're going to charge us to do that is $1,500.
Okay.
It may be a lot more than that, so that's difficult for us. The second show we're looking at doing is a much more intimate show, so we're looking for a much more intimate space for that.
Oh, wonderful.
So you'll have to look in the paper to see where. But
so just keep watching, listening, and if
Yes.
you're a high school student with acting experience and you think this is something that you'd enjoy doing, just let us know.
Absolutely.
So how are things shaping up for next year at Alpena High School for the Massacres Club? You got some good kids coming back?
We always have good kids, of course.
Of course.
I'm actually looking at going away to graduate school.
Ooh.
So, and my compatriot Lisa Ray is seeking some job opportunities. So the Massacres Club is actually looking for an advisor for next year. So if there's anybody out there with theater experience and education that likes to work with high school kids, get a hold of me, and we'll try to set that up too.
Okay, yeah.
We don't want to just leave these kids hanging.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
and I just, when they're on here, I'm just amazed at how bright and how smart, and or listening to them talk about how they couldn't even give a book report in front of a class, but they're on stage. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much for being here. We're out of time, and take care, Heather.
Thank you.
Please stay tuned for Dr. Olin Joynton following these messages.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm Olin Joynton, president of Alpena Community College, and my guest this morning is Tammy Tamarix, who's an ACC graduate of the Ferris State University bachelor's degree in integrative studies and a master's of business administration student at Ferris also, and headed for a doctoral program there. So my goodness, you're going to be quite educated when this is all over.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Let's start with growing up in Alpena, or this region, is that correct?
I did. I grew up in this area, and my mother is still living in the area, and I attended Alpena High School and graduated in 1979, and went to Alpena Community College and earned my associates in criminal justice early on. Later on, I raised my family and started working in retail grocery for several years, and then had an opportunity to return back to Alpena Community College.
Now, I'm going to crack a lame joke. Did you work in the criminal justice field, or was that preparation for raising children?
Yes, it definitely was preparation for raising children.
Well, good. And then your second ACC degree was in what field?
In liberal arts.
Liberal arts.
Yes.
Very good.
And
what kind of experience did you have at ACC?
My experience at ACC both times was very comfortable. I felt like I could fit into any situation regardless of my age or where I was at in my life. And actually I found that many of the younger students looked up to me, and a lot of them called me Mom.
Well, I've heard that a number of times with people who are a little bit older who come back. In fact, there was a lady down in Texas who came to us at the age of 71 and got in our nursing program. Everybody called her Grandma. But it's a great relationship for the younger students to interact with people who've been out there in the world and done a few things.
It is, and they learn that even though they're at the beginning of their academic career and professional life, that they can learn from people who have had experience in the workforce and out in the world raising families.
And guess what? We can learn a few things from them too.
That's right.
Any particular instructors that come to mind that were especially helpful to you?
One especially was Dan Carey, and he's now retired.
That's right.
And the classes that were offered through ACC were also transferable to Ferris State as 300 classes, which was a great start for me, because I was able to work with people here like Dan Carey that had some insight before I traveled on to a four-year university. The other instructor that was a great mentor for me was Tim Kuhnlein, and he allowed us to explore our own past and see how the past in his history classes worked into the future, and that was very important as far as integrative studies is concerned.
You know, when I ask that question of students or graduates, those are two of the names that come up most often, so you're right on track there. Now, you mentioned classes at ACC, even counting at the junior level for Ferris.
Yes.
And that's what we call a 3+1 program with Ferris State University. You can actually go 3 years at ACC and accumulate credits so that you only attend Ferris at the higher tuition rates for 1 year. But let's get into what integrative studies is. A bachelor's degree in integrative studies. What is that all about?
Integrative studies is a compilation of your life's work, and it can start even before you graduate from high school. It's all of your life experiences, whether you've had a job or whether you haven't had a job, all your volunteer work, all your family experiences, your academic experiences. And what it does is it teaches you to wrap all of that into a package that is saleable to people that are looking for employees. The definition of an employee has changed so much over the past 20 years. And now we look at ourselves as commodities, you know, human commodities, and that sounds kind of bad, but it really isn't. And it teaches a person to value every experience that they've had in life and wrap it up and keep going into the lifelong learning process.
Well, that integrated process is very important in just becoming a person. I've read definitions by psychologists of maturity or even sanity as a characteristic seen in people who can pull the different parts of their lives, their interests, their likes and dislikes and so on into, as you said, a single package, unify and synthesize those different elements. So
exactly.
It's not just a bunch of collection of disconnected parts. It has a center.
And so often we take classes, and let's say we have to take this business class and we have to take this English class, and we don't see where the two meet to further us in our education.
Right.
And that's what integrative studies does. It teaches you to use both together.
That's great. At ACC, we actually publish statements about pulling the different subjects that we teach together around 5 core competencies. One of them is learning how to learn, one of them is solving problems, one is communication skills, and one is mathematics, and the other is interacting with the global society, just not confining ourselves to where we are right now, but looking beyond our borders. And so we say those themes weave through the parts of our curriculum to bind them together so the product of ACC doesn't just have a bunch of courses that aren't connected, but that they are woven together in that way. So I think at ACC we make a special effort to integrate and prepare a person for a bachelor's degree.
Well, and that's where ACC really helped me, and several people like Nancy Saya, who said, this is where you need to be. She looked at what I had accomplished so far, and she said, this is where you need to be because you already have this. We've already given you this, and we intend to give you more so that you can make the steps up the ladder.
Right.
And it's been a wonderful experience. Nancy Saya has been instrumental.
I'm glad you mentioned Nancy. Associate Vice President Nancy Saya is the contact person for the Ferris State University Bachelor's Degree of Integrative Studies, and her office is in Van Laer Hall. Anybody in the audience who might want to pursue the path that you followed? And so let me congratulate you on your success and the way in which you're exhibiting the lifelong learner characteristics by pursuing additional degrees. You aspire eventually to be a community college leader.
Yes, I do.
And I wish you well in that. I see many signs that augur well for that career for you.
Thank you very much. And you know, you spoke of communication and diversity, and so often we don't excel beyond our borders, and the community college really does help you integrate all of that and teaches you that. And one of the focuses that I have is to come back and be a part of the community in the community college setting.
That's great. Well, thanks so much for being my guest this morning.
Thank you.
This has been Talk of the Town with Nancy Smitham and Dr. Olin Joynton. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on Community. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.